Um, Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this evening on the eve of Safer Internet Day. It comes around every year on the second Tuesday of every February, and Trend Micro are proud to support that every year. But we don't just do that every year, we do it every day of every year, and that's what my job is. So you've met my partner in crime, Ray, who's signing tonight. And my name is Avril, and I've been working for Trend Micro for the last 20 years. And I have two children. They are now 12 and 15 this year. And since I've started in Trend, my children were born through Trend, and we've grown up together online. And since 2012, my job has been fully dedicated to internet safety for kids and families. So the company I work for are called Trend Micro. They're a global cybersecurity company by day. And there are 7,000 employees around the world. And they are dedicated and passionate about keeping the internet a cleaner place. So they would support in every way they can to keep the internet a cleaner place. So whether it's working with law enforcement, FBI, Interpol, wherever we can, we help out. But by day, it's supporting our customers, making sure that their data, their information, their networks, everything that they use to connect to the internet is protected by us and kept safe. And the owners of our company are a married couple, Steve and Jenny, and they are very passionate about giving back to our community, which is why I have a job. And Internet Safety for Kids and Families was founded by my boss in 2012. And before COVID, I used to be out in schools, primary schools, secondary schools, up and down the country, in school halls, doing parent talks, just like tonight. But COVID came and I couldn't do that anymore. And would you believe that tonight already, we've 600 people on the call, over 600. And in order for me to get 600 people sitting in front of me in school halls, I'd say I'd be out on the road at least 2 nights a week, 52 weeks of the year. So the internet helps us scale like we've never scaled before. We're also able to use the internet to sign and to be more inclusive in our community. So we're very grateful for that. So we've done a lot of stuff online in the last 2 years during COVID. And tonight's conversation is about being safe online. And as parents, guardians, and educators, being online is something that everyone we do all the time now. It's part of our DNA, isn't it? And our kids at this stage too, especially because of COVID, it got fast-tracked. The goal of tonight's Internet Safety Talk is to provide you with a framework so that you don't know all the answers. None of us ever will, probably. But we have a framework to know what are the important things to watch out for, and also where to go when I need some help, when I need advice, and when I need to get certain assistance, so to speak. So that's the goal for tonight. I will be doing 2 more webinars, one in March and one in April. The one in March will be specifically on gaming and social networks, and the one in April will be on managing screen time and figuring all that out. In an hour, myself and Ray can only do so much. And I think the last thing myself or Ray want to do tonight is to scare you. If anything, we want you to leave this webinar feeling empowered with a sense of relief. I don't have to be a techie to get into all this stuff. So that's the goal for tonight. And if you look at Cyber Safe Kids, they are a charity organisation in Ireland, do amazing work all around Ireland. They do research every year. 93% of Irish kids between the ages of 8 and 12 years of age own their own device. That says a lot about how our country has evolved over the years. 84% of 8 to 12-year-olds have their own social networks. They're on social networks and using them, bearing in mind the minimum age is 13 for many of them. YouTube is still the most popular. The last time I searched, which was this morning, I always check now and again, especially coming up to Safer Internet Day when I'm being interviewed. So YouTube is the top, but following closely behind is TikTok. They have 1 billion users monthly on average around the world. And WhatsApp and Snapchat follow thereafter. One final thing before I start sharing my slides with you is back to that sense of comfort for all of us on the line, because, you know, I'm a parent too. The struggle is real for me. I'm challenged pretty much most days by my kids, not just about being online, about everything. I say pink, they say blue, you know? So we are a tech company, a cybersecurity, a global cybersecurity company. When it comes to our Internet Safety for Kids and Families program, our number one piece of advice is the relationship with your child is so important. As you introduce them to the internet, to devices, and as they grow up online. And there is no tech, no app that will ever replace the role of a parent, teacher, or guardian. And it certainly does take a community, it takes a village to raise a child, and that's what we need to do as a community, no matter what the issue is online that we're facing. So parental controls are really important, and they're there to help guide you and your children so that they're protected. And in doing so, you can show them what it does and why it does it and what's so important about it. But at the same time, don't lose sight of the important thing here. It's the relationship with your child. The words parental controls themselves, no child likes to be controlled. No adult, none of us would like to be told what to do, certainly no kids. So parental controls, you might see the name changing already in some social networks to family settings. The word parental controls is not really a positive one. They are very important, but again, the relationship is what we need to remember. So before I just share the slides, I just want to remind you that this session, this webinar is going to be recorded, just in case you have an emergency at home or wherever you are. You can, or you want to just watch this back again, you can watch it. The recording will be hosted on our website on the events page. So trendmicro.com/internet safety. If you just put in Trend Micro Internet Safety, it'll come up, and just go to the events page and you'll see Ireland and you'll see the recordings. And it's recorded. Please feel free to use the Q&A. I already got one question. Where am I? I'm in Cork. I'm in the Trend Micro office. Please use the questions, the Q&A for questions, and the chat if you want to share anything. If it becomes too distracting and too disruptive and people ask me to turn it off, I will. But anytime I do this and the webinars, it's a nice way for parents to, I'll send out the link there in the chat. It's a very nice way for parents to interact with each other. Okay, so that's why I leave it open. And it's a trusting as well, that, you know, we're respectful of each other online. So please bear with me. Actually, maybe the first thing I'll do is share with you the website. I was going to do that at the end, Ray, but I think it might be just better to show you now. So this is the website, and you'll see here at the top, trendmicro.com internet-safety. So that's in the slides as well. And you will see we've got a lot of information here. Everything that we do as part of the Internet Safety for Kids and Families program is free. And I'm hired by my company to do this in community. And I train employees around the world as well. I have a guy on from Australia at the moment.
Avril, sorry, could you spotlight me, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay, my apologies about that. As I said earlier, Ray is my boss on this webinar. I said it 5 times to myself to spotlight Ray before I shared slides, and I didn't. My apologies. We train people all around the world working in Trend to do this as well. If you look at this website, down here, this is just something I want to show to you. This little icon down the bottom. Can everybody see this? I'm hoping yes is the answer, that you can see the website. You might just let me know if you can. Yes, thank you, Sylvia. Okay, so if you just click this, you will see that it has an accessibility feature. Many of you may know this already, but just in case you're not, if you have, or your children, or you know somebody with ADD, for example, ADHD, It's a really nice feature to help young people to navigate the website, and whether it's visual impairments or whatever, just to be aware that that's there. And there's a lot of features in there to support you if you have any, if you need any additional support. So this is the website. And if you go to the Cyber Academy, which we've launched, I'll talk about that later. If you go to, I just want to show you our webinars page. So here, the webinars, a lot of really good webinars here for you that are recorded in the past. We've got a lot of top tip sheets, resources in 10 different languages, including Chinese and Arabian, Polish, Spanish, French. So I hope I haven't left out anybody here on the call, but there's top tip sheets with lots of stuff in there for you to print off and have a read of. So that's under, you've got the webinars and the resources. And if you go to the events page, so this is the page I was telling you about. On the events page, you've USA, Poland, France is coming soon. We're doing a lot of webinars for parents in France. Here it is. And down below, you'll see the recordings. And these are ones without sign, but we will have tonight's one up here too in the next few days. Probably by Friday of this week, it'll be there. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share my slides now. Okay, so tomorrow's Safer Internet Day. And the first thing I want to do is just ask you 2 questions. And the first one, and this is all anonymous, by the way, and your videos and sound is off for the recording. How old are your kids? Just to give me an idea of, you know, what age your kids are, so that when I do talk, it's just to get a good idea of what age we're talking about here. And I'm just going to launch the poll and just answer it. And I'll share the results with you then. Some of you may have kids in different ages, and tonight you will get a lot of information supporting different ages, not just one specific age. Okay, so the majority of people completing the survey, majority of kids are between 6 and 14 years of age. So just going to end that poll there. Okay, and I'm just going to share it just to show you. So you can see there that the majority of people are between 6 and 14 years of age. Okay, so my next question, it's good for me to know that, and because sometimes it could be just all very young people or a lot of teens, and I would change the direction of my presentation to suit your needs then. So what are you most interested to learn on this tonight? Is it about managing screen time for my kids? I'm going to launch the poll now at the same time for you so that you can be answering it. Is it helping my kids stick to age-appropriate content? You're concerned about what they're accessing. Is it about bullying and hate and things they're facing online? Is it about you're looking for positive uses of the internet and how they can do really good things online? Or you're not sure, but you're just here to learn something new and see what this is all about? There's nothing wrong with that either. Okay, so inappropriate content, age-appropriate content. How do I help my kids stick to age-appropriate content is quite a big one. And screen time. I guess that's no surprise, is it, after COVID? The amount of screen time for all of us, adults, all ages, and children has been huge. So I'm just going to share those results with you. And you can see that everyone else dialing in tonight is pretty much the same place as you. People are feeling, you know, the screen time for their kids is something of a concern. They're most interested in this and helping kids to stick to age-appropriate content. So I'm going to keep going because I want to make sure that we cover a lot of ground before 8:30, and then I'm going to open it up to Q&A. So any questions, I'll stay as long as you want me. I'll answer as many questions as you have. Okay. So a lot has changed in the last 2 years with COVID. And something that we need to bear in mind is that, you know, some things didn't. Children still need guidance. There's still risks out there online, and so are the benefits. And every time you hear bad stuff and you're concerned about things, just remember there is really good things online too. We just don't hear it so much. And good digital citizenship, it's a tongue twister to say, but it is what it is. It's still a priority. Okay, so what does that mean? Digital citizenship. And digital citizenship is broken down into 4 areas, right? The first one is safety and security. Kids need to know how to be safe online, and they need to know how to be secure online from a young age. And we have a role in that, and we can teach kids very simply through basic conversations. Digital literacy, they need to know how to use devices, keyboards, typing skills, you know, not just swiping, typing, and very important. And ethics and community. So, you know, what you do online, that know how it can benefit the whole community, the impact it has on community. And mastery. You know, we want our kids, when they grow up and as they get older and when we're not around, that they'll make the right decisions on their own, the responsible ones on their own. That's where we want kids to get to. And we want them to master the online world. So we want them to be able to use the internet to benefit themselves, to benefit their future jobs, their careers, their hobbies, their friends, their family, their community. So masters of the online world. Okay, so how do you break that down? We've broken it down to 4 parts. Being online is an area where I'm going to focus on a lot tonight, and then some on safety, and a little bit on being kind and being savvy as well. There's some really good stuff in there for you, and I hope you like it. So being online, okay, we need to establish the environment, the rules, and we need to set example. We all want to be safe online for ourselves and for our children and our families. So privacy is really important. Information and privacy for ourselves. And everything we learn here tonight for ourselves is our duty and job to dilute that down and explain it to our kids. And kindness, you know, there's kindness of self and to others, online and offline. And being savvy, so good habits and good uses. So how do you use the internet? In great ways that benefits you and others. Okay, so setting up the environment. It's really important for one very important reason, our physical health. You might have kids at home that are getting pains in their neck and headaches, and they're throwing themselves on beanbags, on beds, on couches, these tablets, because they're not computers, you know, it's easy just to throw yourself down. So our physical health is really important, and it's really important to explain that to kids, you know, a quiet place when you're working or when you're doing homework. And the 30-30-30. Every 30 minutes, look away from your desk or look away from your device for 30 seconds and try and look away 30 feet for your eyes, to stretch your eyes out, to give your eyes some exercise. It's really important. And I'm not going to wear these for the whole time. These are my mad fancy glasses, which I think great. You might see the blue glare on them. So that's protecting my eyes from the blue light that's emitted from devices. And it protects my eyes because that blue light over a long period of time can damage my eyes and be harmful. And, you know, on devices, you can turn down in settings, you can turn that down. And it's called day shift and night shift. But if you're on a device a lot, it can hurt your eyes. So that's something you can get them really cheap in shops all around the place. And sitting, shoulders, feet on the ground, you know, posture, explaining it to kids that their posture over time will suffer if they don't take care of this. So their physical health is really important. And movement breaks. Get up, take breaks regularly. So maybe as part of that 30-30-30, or if you have a Fitbit, get it to vibrate and make you move for a little bit or stretch, do something. And it's important to talk to kids about that. Why? So then you're looking at your network, right? So limiting access to your router. So depending on what type of Wi-Fi you have at home, if you're lucky enough to have broadband, that's great. On the broadband, depending on who your service provider is, you'll have possibly 2 accounts, 2 passwords, 2 access points. And we would recommend that you give one to your kids and one for yourself working if you do happen to work and work from home, because then the kids stay on one and you have Wi-Fi for yourself on the other, and you keep them separate for bandwidth. So separating the network is good, but check out what router you have. You might be surprised and not realize, oh yeah, actually, there's always 2 when I try and get onto my Wi-Fi. That's what you can do. Get the kids to go on one and you go on the other. Wi-Fi extender, I don't think I could work from home without this. It's called a booster. Well, I call it a booster. You can get them in any of those computer shops, And basically, if you've got walls that are really thick, the Wi-Fi might be excellent in one room and really bad all over everywhere else in the house. And a booster, I think mine's the TP-Links cost 30, 40 euros, but there's loads of different ones out there. And you plug it into the wall, plug it in the room you're in, and basically the Wi-Fi travels through the electricity into your room, and you get a better connection in your room. So beware of that, it's excellent. So to improve your environment, remove stress, reduce it at least, you want to maximize the Wi-Fi. And staggering time, and we say this more so, during COVID, especially when there was lockdown, everyone was at home, school, work, the pull on the Wi-Fi was unreal. So staggering time is really good too. Kids do use the internet as well. So it's just about being mindful. Who's using the internet when, and when is it needed? And then you're looking at the environment from a security perspective, right? Before your kids ever get on it, you're thinking physical, you're thinking Wi-Fi access, and security. So you're thinking about the software. So you need security software. I wouldn't be doing my company justice if I didn't mention security, would I? So, whatever security you're using, you need to make sure that your device is protected with security. Even if it's an Android, an Apple, whatever device it is, you need security, however you connect to the internet to protect your device. I presume all of you are also getting a lot of messages these days that your bank account's been hacked, and click this link. It's really important that security is on your devices to protect it. And when you get software, those software updates that you need to update your phone or your device, don't ignore it, because what that actually means is there's a new update, there's a new threat out there. And this update, if you download it, will protect your device from that threat. And threats are every minute of every day. And that's what it means. So update your devices regularly, use strong passwords. Passwords should be long, and really important to have that, not short and complex. Long is the way to go. It could be a passphrase, the first sentence of your favorite song, but it'll take, if it's over 13 digits, it'll take a cyber criminal a couple of days at least to hack into your account if they're determined. Multi-factor authentication, tongue twister again, but we all actually know what this is. When you go onto your banking account and they ask you for your ID and your PIN, then they'll also send you something, whether it's a text to your phone or an email with a code. And you can't actually log into your bank account without that extra code. And that's a security code. It's two-factor or multi-factor authentication. It's like a double lock on your door. And it's basically making sure that it's you who's logging into your account. We all want that on our bank accounts. And I would recommend this for every app, every device that you have, especially for kids and especially for gaming. And explain that to kids. And I think kids will know that already, because kids are an easy target in games, and their accounts can get hacked, and their money or whatever they have in their device, that can all be taken away if their passwords are really easy to guess, which is why multi-factor authentication is really good. And you can set that up under settings on any app and any device. Virtual private network. So a VPN is often usually called. This protects your identity and data, basically. So even if you're using public Wi-Fi, it's like a virtual tunnel that even if you're using the Wi-Fi, it'll protect you and your information. And a lot of people use that, but even just to know that it exists, and you do have to pay for it, but it is that extra layer of security for you. So just to summarize, like good habits, update regularly. You know why now. There's threats out there, vulnerabilities. Protect your device. Passwords, make them long. Whatever it is, just remember it. Long is key. And back up and store safely. And kids don't understand this too, but if you rolled over your device in the morning, is the device gone, or does everything you have on that device, is it backed up? I pay $2.99 a month, I think, for backup. I have thousands of photographs on my phone. Everything is backed up to the cloud. So if my phone actually gets rolled over by my own car, which could easily happen because I'm so distracted, it's okay, because, well, it's not okay, I'll have to buy a new phone. But all this good, really important stuff to me is backed up on the cloud, and I can get it through another device once I set it up. And that's really important. So setting up the environment, again, tech tools. So you may remember earlier I said that no tech tool will ever replace the role of a parent. Well, they are still really important, and they're important that we know. And you don't have to go to a shop to buy this. Okay, that's the good news. You just need to know that they're there, where they are. And even if you don't know where they are, you can actually go onto a search engine, go, where is, how do I find, and on this app, on this device, and you'll get a YouTube tutorial for it. Just know that they exist and you need to find them. Doesn't matter whether you've got an Android device, if you're using iOS, Apple devices, or MS, Microsoft operating system, or a mixture of all of them, doesn't matter. All of them have really good tech tools built in, and they're called safety settings, maybe privacy settings, family settings, like I said earlier, different names. And all of them focus on a few key things that are important to you and that you highlighted to me at the start during the polling. You're concerned about age-appropriate content, and you want to make sure that your kids are only exposed to content that's appropriate for their age. You don't want kids buying a load of stuff on your credit card without you knowing. So you want to lock down the in-app purchases. That's what that means. And time online, you can actually manage the amount of time they're online. Now, remember what I said earlier, the relationship is key and growing up with your kids online. Before any rules are made about how much time online, it's important to talk to them about it. Now, obviously, you won't talk to a 4-year-old or 5-year-old or 6-year-old about this, but the older they get, the conversation has to be practical, realistic, and you have to check in regularly with them because, you know, holidays, Christmas, Easter, summer, they possibly have more time online. Maybe they don't, but it evolves and their needs change. So working with them. And when they are involved in making the rules with you, you have a much better chance of them sticking to the rules that you agree. And monitoring. So, you know, there's a fine line, you know, you could say monitoring your child. A lot of parents wouldn't be into that and aren't comfortable with that. They feel that it's like looking at reading their diary. And sometimes, you know, parents may be so concerned about their children, they do have to just check in because they're worried there's something going on, their children aren't talking to them. But you know your own child and you do what you need to do when you're concerned or whatever to protect your children. But monitoring tools are there and they're great to share with kids. So it doesn't matter what device you have, they all do the same thing. So you can actually show them, you spent this much time doing that, you know, editing videos, and wow, it was really creative. And you spent a lot of time doing this, and you sure you want to do that? You know, I'm not so sure this is a healthy way for you to be online all the time. Don't mind you doing it, but like seriously, you know, and it's a good opportunity to talk to them about it. Doesn't matter what age they are. Help them become more aware of their activity online. Okay, so where are they? Where are all these fancy tech tools? They're everywhere. They're surrounding you in your house, and they're probably right around you right now. They're in your router, depending on the router. If it's a fancy one now, you get seriously good security, safety settings and software on them. In the devices themselves, so even on my phone, there's a lot of tech tools, safety settings in this that I can set up. In the service provider that you have, security software. So when you purchase security software and you download it to all the devices in your home, they have parental controls and safety settings that protect and do all the things on the top row there. App stores, sites, websites, apps, games, even in those, there's safety settings. So you could set up your safety settings, all the settings on your device, but then you go into Roblox or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is, and even within those, there's settings as well. So know that, and I'll show you a few examples. So just briefly, with iOS, Apple, the tech tools that my family happen to have Apple devices over the years, and then, you know, when you get used to one, you kind of just get them. So you might all have Androids or whatever, whatever you're used to, you tend to get into that then. So the screen time is really, really good, I have to say. But bear in mind, this is also in Android and MS, Microsoft. So I'll show you that as well. With screen time, if your kids are under 16 and even under 13, you as the guardian can set up their iOS devices. You set up their iCloud account and you're their guardian. And then you pull them in under screen time. So when you go into settings, you can see screen time and family time. And within that, then there's a lot of things you can do. You can see here, you can schedule downtime. That's from the hours of 7:30, 8 o'clock at night until whatever time tomorrow, it's down. Tablet doesn't work, whatever, device doesn't work. I'm just wondering, sorry, there was a Wi-Fi freeze there. Are you okay, Ray? Okay. So app limits. So you might decide when you're talking to your child, okay, look, we've looked at your activity for last week, and we've both agreed that you're on that a bit too much, and you'd much prefer to do more fun stuff where you're learning more. So how long do you think is, agree how long they should be on a specific app, and you can put that in. Only 30 minutes on this app. So my daughter last year, a couple of years ago now, she had this app where you just chase a snake around. It was like watching a lava lamp. She loved it. She obviously got benefited from it, regulated her in some way. She loved it. But we agreed that 15 minutes was enough because that's mindless. She got something, but 15 minutes would be enough. And she laughed about it, actually. But showing her and helping her become more aware helped us laugh and discuss it. And we understood each other and agreed something together. Communication limits. So you can decide who they can speak to on the device. It could be just family only, for example, or you can choose people that they can speak to, and you discuss that with them. And apps are always allowed. So it could be Google Maps. Maybe they're fascinated with it. Music, photos, creative things that you don't mind how long they're on because they're learning so much from it. That's the beauty of this, that you're showing them the really good things where they learn and be creative, and they're developing as human beings using the internet, and this idea of mastery. Remember that. And then you've got content and privacy restrictions. This is where you're like, okay, this website, never do I want my child. So you can actually put in websites that are completely inappropriate, that are okay if they were older, but not right now. Maybe the older brothers or sisters are on it, but not right now. But as they get older, you can release them. Within content and privacy restrictions as well, there's a lot of other things you can do. But restricting explicit content is one. And a lot of parents earlier in the call, in the webinar, said that, this is something you want to get to grips with about what they are exposed to. And this is a great way to do it, and very easy. I promise you it's easy. If I can do it, anyone can. Google Family Link. So if you have Android devices, the iOS screen time is called Google Family Link. The beauty of Google Family Link is if you have an iOS device, but your kids have Android, you can download Family Link onto your iOS, and you can manage it. You can manage their Android devices through the Family Link app on your Apple device. And it does the same thing as screen time, everything that you need and want it to do. And like I said before, safety settings and tech tools are fantastic. They train kids' brains into what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. They open up conversation between you and your child. And that's the key, the relationship. And again, this is just an example. It filters apps, limits screen time, location. You can actually, as well, on the iOS, the screen time, you can share music, you can share location with each other, find my device. There's so many good things you can do. Storage, loads of stuff you can share. Actually, on the screen time for us on the iOS, we've got a family group chat on message. They don't have phones, but we can communicate on message. So it's great. So, they're there and they're to be used. You just need to know they're there. Then you have, within Google, you have YouTube Family, and you've got a lot of kids love making videos, and they love YouTube, and they all want to be YouTubers, and they want a YouTube account. And a lot of parents are really, really concerned about this, so they don't want to. But be aware, finally, YouTube have come up with a supervised account. If you just go in and put in youtube.com My Family, you will get to the My Family page of YouTube, and it'll show you everything you can do to set up your child's YouTube account. You can decide it's Explore, Explore More, or most of YouTube. I'm just going to have a look at the questions in the Q&A there. Please provide brief guidance on how much screen time is appropriate for children 8 years in particular. particularly time on games. Okay, so time online, I will discuss that in a while, in a few slides, okay, David. Often, excuse me now, I'm just reading because I see them popping up. Okay, how do we stop our children bypassing screen time? You switch it off, okay. You might need to give me some more information on that, Sheila. Okay, so there's a lot of here of how to do it. Okay, and I'm going to explain. If you have Android, but the kids have Apple. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with my slides because all of your questions are excellent questions, and I hope that I will answer them as the slides go on, okay? So just to end on YouTube, supervised account, you decide what they want. You can minimize, you can actually, any comments coming through, you either decide no comments or they can have comments, but you can filter and look at them first before you approve them for your child to see. There's a whole load of stuff going on there. They get what they want, a YouTube channel or an account, and you get what you want, the comfort of knowing they're safe and not exposed to inappropriate stuff or people or content that you don't want them to be. So on the Google Family link, like I said, if you have iOS and your kids have Android, this is excellent. And on the screen time for iOS, if your kids have iOS devices, you need an iOS device in order to manage their screen time as well. Now you can set it up on their devices and you can manage it from their specific devices as well. So just be aware of that. But you need a PIN code to lock it so that they can't actually go in and override the screen time, which was another question. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep going, but I will come back to a few things that were mentioned in the questions. Examples of TikTok family pairing. So just for those older kids who are on TikTok, or just for those parents who are thinking, oh, their TikTok is coming at some point, but I'm really nervous about it and not comfortable with it. Be aware that TikTok family pairing, I don't know if you're familiar with this, it was launched in the US. I was waiting for it to come to Ireland for ages. It's now in Ireland. Family pairing is a really cool feature where on your device, you set up your TikTok and say it's time and you decide it's okay, you want your child wants it and you've agreed that it's the right time and they're going to get it. They set up TikTok on their account, so you've got two separate TikTok accounts, and then you go to family pairing under digital well-being, and you decide whether on both you're the parent and on their device there's a teen, and it guides you along to set it up, and basically you have a screen mirror image of what they have. You see everything that they see, and they do. And it's a nice introduction way to say, right, look, I'm worried about you being on it, but I'm happy for you to go on it as long as we do the family pairing together for a while. And, you know, it's about trust. It's about, you know, you being a responsible person using this device. It's not a right. This is something that has to be respected. Devices, the internet at large has to be respected, and it has to be earned, that trust. And let's just start this slowly. So you can do that. And under family friendly TikTok pairing, you know, it allows you to customize family members settings. So limiting time, even within TikTok, you can limit the time per day, and you can exclude certain content for family members that you're not happy for them to be exposed to, and who can send them messages. Again, it has to have a code. So back to that parent earlier about how they're overriding the time. It's important to have a code that they don't know, and change your code often if you think they're guessing it or they have guessed it. So that's really good to know. So setting the rules. What devices are the kids on? That's a really important one. So if you just think first what we've just been through, the physical environment, your network, setting up the network and Wi-Fi, the security, and then you have the tech tools across routers, devices, and apps. And it's not complicated. They're all there and they're easy to follow. They've been designed that way. No, they're there. And you've all that set up. Then you look at your child, your teenager, younger tweens. What devices are they on? You have to decide when they're allowed on it. They may have devices they need to bring to school. They may have assisted technology. You know, there's a lot of reasons why children have devices and need them. You have to decide when they use their devices and how long they're going to be on the device for. So one of the questions was for an 8-year-old, how long should they be on? If you look at the American Association of Pediatrics research, they would say that under 2 years of age, they shouldn't be online at all. Over two, between 2 and 5, no more than an hour a day on high resolution screens and supervised. And over 5, then it's very difficult to gauge. There is no hard and fast rule. And that comes down to your child, your child. And we need to focus here not on how many minutes and hours they're allowed on. Because what you do if you get into this minutes and hours thing, is anyone familiar with the, can I 15 more minutes? And that's up, can I 15 more minutes? Not bad. So you want to avoid that, because that then becomes, what you're doing here is you're creating this forbidden fruit. So it's about, and I'm going to show you something after this slide to show you how best to do that. And there's 2 really cool things I want to show you. But focusing basically on quality. What are they doing online? Are they learning things online? Are they doing good stuff online? Or are they mindlessly scrolling? And you can see that from data and the reporting, and share it with them and talk about it. Opportunity for discussion. Or you can also just, like I said, have a good discussion about it and then make decisions based on that. Where kids under 12 absolutely need to be in your line of vision. No devices in the bedroom, and definitely not going to bed at night. All devices downstairs in a communal area. Never be brought to bed, because you never know what happens in the room. And if there's messages coming through, they'll never sleep. It's distracting. So I would strongly recommend for children under 12, no devices in the room, and going to sleep at night, they should be off devices for at least an hour before bedtime. Get into whatever bed routine they have to psychologically wind down before they go to sleep to get a good night's quality sleep. And with whom? Again, like I said, under 12, they have to be in your line of vision. You have to keep an eye on them, because you can have all the tech tools, all the safety settings set down in the world, but they're still at risk to nothing is 100% safe. So that's why it's important just to keep an eye, and with whom as well. And this is a great opportunity for discussion again. Talk to them. Who you talk to, you should only talk to people you're friends with in the real world. If anyone tries to contact you and wants a private conversation with you or anything like that, talk to me. They need to talk to you. They need to know that your relationship with them is such that you won't explode, which is so easy to do, right? That you won't overreact. Again, you have to bite your lip. They know they can come and tell you something where you won't take the device off them. Because what happens there is they will interpret that as, I won't be telling them anything again because they'll just take my device off me. Whereas on our side, we're thinking, well, that didn't happen again. Sorted that problem out by taking the device off them for a few days. And, so it's a double-edged sword. Just be careful with that one. Make sure it's an open discussion. If you both agree and you both are talking about it, then that's different, but just be careful with that. So the relationship, again, still coming up through all of my slides, with whom, and the opportunity to have that discussion. So back to, I think, isn't it David, you asked the question about how long. So Dr. Rich is from Children's Hospital in Boston. He's a pediatrician, and he has years of research working with children. And this forbidden fruit he talks about. And this forbidden fruit is basically, if you just keep it about time and minutes and hours, we're missing the bigger picture of we want our children to grow up to be able to manage their own time online and to understand where their time online fits into their busy day with all other activities. And in order for us to help them with that, we can help them self-regulate from a young age. Obviously, they're not going to be time managing themselves by the age of 6, but starting it off, that's how we do it. So by the time they're 18, they've got it nailed, their time. They've set up things. They know how to manage their time online. They know how to turn off their device when they're focusing on work or homework, and the do not disturbs, and turn off notifications. So they minimize distractions. They know how to manage it. And that can all start from a young age. So how do you do it? So Dr. Rich says that, get them to sit down and do I've got something really cool to show you right after this. We're launching it tomorrow, but you're the first ones to see it. We're launching it globally. Ask them, how does their day look in 24 hours? What happens? break it down. Show me what you do in 24 hours. Get them to see the big picture here. What do you do in 24 hours? Meals and sleep, and you eat and exercise, school, homework, hobbies. Then you've got relationships, time with people, socializing, lunch breaks, playtime, all of that. And then you've got time left over. Not much. I mean, sometimes during weeks as well, kids will have maybe a half an hour after they get home, get the uniforms off, get the homework done. They may have hobbies and sports or activities after school. They're busy. And then it's an hour before bed or 2 hours, it's very little time. So showing kids what a day looks like is really important to help them see where their time online fits into that. And this is coming from Dr. Michael Rich, who is we've got some lovely webinars with him on our website recorded for you to look at, and I really recommend them. And with that time left over, create a menu of, well, what would you like to do online when you get there? What things are you interested in? Show your interest in what they're interested in. Because the more you're interested in them and their activity online, the more they're going to come to you and tell you about the good stuff they're doing, but they're also going to come to you when there's stuff going on they're worried about, or they've seen something and they're worried, or they've done something. Kids are going to make mistakes. Absolutely. We might as well accept that now. They will make mistakes online. The important thing is we're there to help them figure out how to fix it. Partner up with them, help them. Okay. So the other thing, as final part of this slide, setting the example, whatever we do, that saying monkey see, monkey do. 1% of kids will do what we say, but they'll do 100% of what you do. So be conscious of what you do. What is your relationship with your device like? What do you do? Because they're watching you and they will emulate what you do once they get a device. So model that behavior with them. We have a fabulous episode launching tomorrow for the Kids Cyber Academy called Camera Safety. And it's a great thing to show them loads of fun things in there. So I'll show you that at the end. But that's be online, okay? And the be safe one is just something I want to talk to you about. And we've got about 10 minutes left. And then please bear with me, because any questions I haven't answered, I will answer them then. Okay, so privacy. Privacy online, there's 2 things you can do to protect your privacy online. 1, don't be online. Don't put anything out there. Or 2, use privacy settings when you are online. You never know who's watching or who's taking copies of what you're doing and sharing. And, if you look, even this is just a sample of Fortnite. Settings, the 3 lines or the cog on the wheel, go in there, hit private. It defaults to public, so you have to actually go in there and apply private in order for your kids to be in a private safety setting environment to protect them. That's just an example. And protecting privacy. So when we talk to kids, before I share that, the first thing I would ask you as parents, educators and guardians, and the same when we ask teens and tweens, how much does it cost to use your favorite social network? Name one. How much does it cost to use it? Do they charge you every week, every month? Oh no, it's free. Are you sure about that though? Is there not a cost to this? No, it's free. It's definitely free. And then you remind them, and this is freely available on any of the social networks, the terms and conditions. In order for you to use any social network or any app, you have to accept the terms and conditions. And within those terms and conditions, they say that you own everything you post, you share, you say, you do, you comment, you like, you own it. But you allow the organization that owns this app to do whatever they want with that information. Data analytics, sales, reporting, whatever they want. You're allowing them to use it for whatever reason. So it's important that we're aware of that. And in a court of law, any information, even if it's deleted, and this is really important to share with kids as well, even if it's deleted, there's copies on the social networks, backup servers. So even if you deleted it, it's still there on servers. And in a court of law and with law enforcement, it can be demanded of by the courts to the organization who will have to hand it over. So remember, assume nothing is private. And this is so important to talk to young people about. And that's what our Cyber Academy is about. So we've got a privacy episode for kids that are 7 to 10 years of age. You think that would be a hard one to have a conversation, it's not. And there's some great conversations in there, whether your kid is 7, 10, 15. You can take the conversation guide, use this to have conversation with your kids. 10 minutes a week. Just briefly, I mean, I'm sure everyone's got these strange messages saying, hit this link, your account's been whatever. There's a lot of malware, there's a lot of spam, there's a lot of ways to cyber criminals trying to catch you out online, getting you to hit that link. You know, your post is delayed, you have to pay more money, whatever it is, be aware of it. Protecting your information is really important, and it's important to tell children to not click links because it's, you know, there's malicious things behind it. It may not be legitimate, it may not be true at all. And protecting yourself, a word about the camera, and this is the episode we're launching tomorrow, the camera and camera safety. You never know who's watching and you never know who's looking of what you're doing and what you're saying online. And this is so important for kids to know. And it's why privacy and safety settings are important. And accepting friends that you only know in the real world. And, you know, if you don't, and children that are most vulnerable to this are children that are unsupervised, that are on technology a lot without settings locked down. And they then can become targets of sexual coercion online, and it could be for financial reasons or sexual reasons that they're targeted for inappropriate photos or videos and more, and being blackmailed. If you don't give me more, I will just share everything with your school and whatever friends. So it's so important that we as parents be aware of this. None of us want this in our community, but we certainly want to be aware of it to protect through information, to protect our kids. And that our kids know, even if they see something online, that they can come and talk to you. There's a Childline, ISPCC. They may not be able, you know, they may have friends that are stuck in a situation. They need to be encouraged to encourage their friends to go and seek help. There are a lot of options out there, but children can get caught up in this. Okay, so safety settings, privacy settings, and the conversation with children is key. This is the episode I mentioned, camera safety. It's a fabulous short animated video, brilliant conversation guide to have a chat with kids, no matter what age they are. Up into their 70s, the conversation guide is good. And there's a Kahoot quiz and an activity sheet for the younger kids. Really good stuff. So that's on trendmicro.com, internet-safety. And we also have one, like I said earlier, on privacy. We have a load of them: passwords, two-factor authentication, security, healthy habits online. We have them all. So please have a look at our website. It's 10 minutes a week with your kids, or maybe you might want your school and the teacher to spend 10 minutes a week with the class doing it. And it's a great way to engage the class in a fun way about the important things. So just briefly, we have a few minutes left, Ray. We're nearly there. Are you doing okay? Okay, so kindness. You know, when we go online, it's important, especially for tweens and teens, to say to them, you know, once you go online, you have a public life. Welcome to your public life, because that's what it is. And there is a pressure to perform when it comes to gaming amongst peers. There's a pressure to conform amongst peers in social settings, particularly girls, but also boys. How you look, how you dress, what you do, whatever it is, there's a pressure to conform. So we need to focus on kindness. It's the right thing to do, and it reflects on you, and telling kids that from a young age. And help establish norms. You doing kind things is teaching them to do kind things. Doing one kind thing a day. I said to my daughter one week, oh, that was so amazing. You've covered kindness for a week. You know, get it into their heads that kindness is the best thing. And respecting others. So privacy. Not every child wants their photograph taken. Not every parent wants their child's photograph taken and shared. So children need to understand that we need to respect everyone else's privacy and respect that everyone else has family rules and values. Okay. And, you know, if you accept that other people don't want their photos shared, or you ask for permission before you share something, they're going to do the same if they want to take a photo of you. So it's about starting it. Okay, so there's a lot of questions raised, but I'm going to finish the slides and then go to questions. Okay. Respecting others. So time offline. This is where, when kids are offline, but they're being hammered with notifications to answer their phone or their tablet. This comes back to respecting values of other people and respecting their time offline. Conversation. You need to talk to kids about that. And, you know, it's something very simple we can do. Tell kids every day that their lives online does not reflect their value and the person that they are in the real world. They are so much greater than that. And remind them of their strengths, their talents, their uniqueness, and how much they're loved, and every day to remind them of that. So just in relation to savvy, about the good habits, you know, who am I online? Look yourself up online. Has anyone here on this call ever looked themselves up online? What have you found? I get a lot of parents saying, I'd want to have a look at that now, because I would say, let your children look you up online. You know, but a lot of parents would say, I'd probably want to look myself up first before I let my children look me up, just to see what's out there. But it's a great thing to do, because kids, you know, that 3-second rule, what you see, you make judgments. It's a bias. Within 3 seconds, you see something about someone online and you're making judgment calls on it. And kids will do the same about what they see about you online. Really important, great exercise to do with kids. So look yourself up, get your kids then to look you up. So healthy habits, another great episode we've launched, and they're up on our website. What can you do to encourage kids? You know, that time online, that quality time online. What can they do online? Well, they can raise money, they can support a cause that they're really interested in, whatever it is that they care about. There is something online that they can find out more information and do a lot of research on. If they're gifted writers, they can start blogging, enter blogging contests. If they love making videos, they can enter video competitions, coding competitions. If kids are great at coding and creating websites, and oh my gosh, there's so amazing kids out there that from a young age, they're doing amazing tech things. So it's about finding and matching their talents with what's available online and learning new skills, learning to code, improve guitar or learn guitar, improve your swimming, improving your art techniques, dance, you know, whatever it is, there's something there for everybody and much more. And for parents and kids, there's MOOCs, massive online open courses. And this is basically free from Harvard, from MIT, from Allison.com, which is in Mayo. I know we've got people from Mayo here on the call. And they have amazing free courses to do on anything you can imagine. They're there online. Save you fortune. 50% of kids drop out of their first year in college because they made the wrong choice. Get them to do some MOOCs when they're in secondary school to help them narrow down what they actually want to do when they go to third level, if they want to go to third level. The Khan Academy, if your kids have learning difficulties, maths challenges, the Khan Academy is an app, free, download it, third class fractions, you have visuals, videos, it's amazing. We just need to know how to use and master the online world and show our kids how to do it. Cool apps for schools, Claire O'Riordan, she's a teacher, primary school teacher. Any app you're trying to figure out, whether it's maths or science, depending on what age, there are free apps and paid apps out there that complement the Irish primary school curriculum that will help your child learn and understand better whatever they're having problems and challenges with in school. This website is amazing. And Claire is an amazing person for managing this in our free time. And again, the Cyber Academy is another one. So Micro.com, Internet Safety, it's all free, it's all there. Use whenever you've got time. And just to close out, for the younger ones, when they ask you for Roblox, or they ask you for whatever it is they want next, learn with them, research with them, build rules together, branch out carefully, decide what to do together. Oh, that's a bit too old for you now, the age rating. What about this one? Work together on it and use the tech tools. privacy and safety settings in every app you download, it's there. For the older ones, if you hear your kids saying something on a phone call, or you know your own children, you know when there's something wrong, check in with them regularly, and just ask and listen. Let them talk. Sometimes all they want to do is talk and be heard. They don't want your opinion or your advice. In fact, sometimes my opinion and my advice annoys my kids, but they do want to talk to me. Discuss free apps. Remember, there's no such thing as free. You're generally the product here. So the goal is, if you love that app, accept the terms, use it, but use it wisely, and only share what you want the whole world to see, because this is your public life. Help them take breaks, whether it's walking the dog or getting them involved in archery, I don't know. Find new hobbies for them if they're stuck and they don't have hobbies. Get them out. Instead of pulling them away from devices that really upsets them, it's about finding things to show them that they're interested in, that they want to go to it, and encourage the good uses of the internet. So this is just a summary slide, Ray. This is the last one. Make sure they have a place to turn to. Be prepared. Use moments of adversity when things go wrong with them online. They're opportunities to help them get stronger, build their resilience, help build your relationship with them, and prepare them for their future. And, you know, show them what they do have control of. And this is a really important one. Whoever your kids hang out with, check in with their parents. Be consistent with the parents. Have similar rules. No phones until they're leaving sixth class, whatever it is. Agree together. It's easier to manage the kids. Check in with the other parents before you allow something. Sometimes kids might say, oh no, they all have it in the classroom. I'm the only one that doesn't. And they're lying. So check in with the other parents. I don't mean kids lie all the time. That's just an example. And show them, like I said, about kindness, what that is. You may have heard of this, How Full Is Your Bucket? It's a really good book to show kids, but it's about how your bucket can get, some people fill your bucket full of good stuff and some people drain your bucket. And this kid realizes that he can drain other people's buckets and he has an impact on others. So it's a lovely book. Cyber Academy, that's it. Please go to that website. Have a look at everything on it. Thank you so much, everybody. For those of you who want to hang up, remember this is recorded. I'll be hosting it on our website. I want to just show you that I want to show you I showed you our website earlier, so I won't be showing you that. But we have gaming coming up on the 7th of March. So on the events page, come to the events page. If you're interested in knowing the next event, this is where I go into a lot more detail on gaming and on social networks in detail, how to set things up. I go right into safety settings and show you how and how it's done. And I explain the popular ones, what they're all about and what you need to know. And then the next one is in April, about managing time online. And I know a lot of people are interested in that. That's a whole hour, and so is gaming and social. So for tonight, this is enough for everyone. I hope everyone has gotten something from it. If you're interested in receiving an email about the upcoming events, send me an email. Send me your email address, if you like, in the chat to the host, not to everyone, because you don't want everyone to know your email address. So send it to the host, and I will take your email address, and I will make sure that you will receive a notification with the Zoom details of the next one. And the next one being social and gaming and what it's all about, and time online. And there's a feedback form after this call. And please fill it in and tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want more of. And bear in mind, there's 2 more webinars to come, and Ray is going to be with me too. So there's a lot of people who sent me email addresses to host. So thank you so much for all those. Gosh, wow. This is great. I hope I haven't bombarded you. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thanks,
What's Twitter in sign? Twitter and fine again. Can't Twitter. This is cool. I'm learning here. Ray, you might actually help me sort out my technical issues, like for the next time, so I don't get it wrong. So Ray is going to take a well-deserved break and have a strong brandy down in Wexford after me. And what I'm going to do is, Ray's probably going to hang up, or maybe you won't, maybe you want to listen in, Ray, but if I haven't answered anybody's question and Ray stopped signing, please send me your question to the host, to me, with your email address and tell me you'd like the reply in writing. I'm just conscious that if you need someone to sign, Ray won't be here. I will send you an email with the information you're looking for and give you the support you need. So please do. Any questions that I haven't answered? And when Ray leaves, I'm staying on the call to answer questions that you have. Thanks so much, Ray. You're going to come back in April, May, March. You're going to do it again, I hope. Sign.
I will again. I will. I'll come back in March. No worries.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
Great.
Great.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay. Bye, Well.
Take care. Goodbye. It's just me now. I presume everyone just wants to hang up. But anyone that hasn't hung up, please just, I'm going to look at the Q&A here. I see a few of them, so I'm just going to start. Okay, bear with me. I'm just going through them. I'm a bit of a slow reader, so my apologies. Dave Byrne, a lot of people liked this question that you asked about how much screen time. I hope I've answered your question. Kids on games all weekend, it must wreck your head. None of us were born with it. None of us were reared with gaming. And to see kids gaming, I would recommend, have you gamed with them? Have you tried it? I have to say, please do. You will see a different side to your kids. Why do they game? What do they get from gaming they're not getting in the real world? And you'd be surprised the amount of stuff that they're getting. And they're researching on YouTube and they're teaching themselves things, and they're gaming. There's teamwork, hand-to-eye coordination, there's leveling up, troubleshooting, problem solving. There's a huge amount of strength to be gained from gaming. I'm not selling gaming here. My own kids, one of them she's a mad gamer. But to understand from their perspective why they game it'll blow your mind. And some of the world's leading surgeons are avid gamers. Precision. When they're in an operation, and these days they use keyhole and they're actually using technology to look at what they're doing, they need to know the difference from right to left when they're inside and somebody's doing some operation. So gaming, for those little children out there who are going to become surgeons, you never know. Who knows? So try the gaming out with them, figure out what it is they're getting, and you'll be surprised. And then, you know what, when you game with them, they then know, oh my gosh, he's gaming with me. He knows why I like it. And we have a thing going now. We're on the same wavelength. It's easier to have conversations with them about it, I hope, David, if you're still there, you may have hung up on me, but I hope that answered the question. And I am covering screen time in April. So if you want me to invite you, that's specifically on screen time, a whole hour dedicated to that. Okay, let me see. How to control YouTube content on a smart TV. So there's settings. So even on PlayStation, Xbox, even on your bog standard TV, smart TV, you just need to go to safety settings, or settings. It's like a cog in a wheel. And within that, you can actually check the settings, and you can, within those settings, then set up what it is you want to set up and control, or put restrictions in place. What I would say, discuss it with the child as well, age dependent, of course. But on YouTube, on smart TV, that would be, you need your Gmail account. Your Google and Gmail own each other. You would need your Gmail account. You would need to sign in. You would need to have that set up and set the restrictions within YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/myfamily and start from there. And if you can't still figure out how to control YouTube on a smart TV, just put into the search engine, how do I control YouTube content on my smart TV? And then put the make and model of your smart TV, you know, Samsung, Sony, or whatever it is, I don't know, Sony, Bravia, whatever it is, just put it in. And you can get YouTube tutorials even on that, how to do it. But I would say start with the safety settings on your TV. Okay. And within YouTube itself, the settings within YouTube, and you need a Gmail account and you need a password protected and not shared with your children. Can you have more than one child with family pairing? Absolutely. But you have your one account and your child, two of them have the family pairing. So they would, you'd have to scan both their devices. It's kind of like a QR code. I'm the parent, there's a child, so you'd have both of them. That's an excellent question. Obviously, you have two kids. But TikTok is excellent for putting in really, like if your kid's under 16, it's worth putting in their correct age, the year, not their total date of birth, but their year even, because TikTok will protect kids under 16 from all the content that over 16s get and a lot of other things. So if you're even going onto the TikTok website and going to the safety area of TikTok, it's so easy to read, so easy to understand. I promise you, it's worth having a look in there. And you'd learn more than just family pairing. That's to Regina. So have a look. I recommend it. Very concerned about access to inappropriate content and step-by-step guidance. So Sinead, Nick, Chiffon, I will be going through this in March, on the 7th of March. I will be sending out the invite, and I will be going through things like Roblox, loads of 3 different games, popular games, and 3 popular social networks, TikTok being one, Snapchat being the other, and Instagram, I think, can't remember now. Once you see one, you know them all, but I will go through step by step what they are, how they work, why they're popular, and what you need to be aware of and how to set them up. So that's within the next webinar I'm doing specifically on gaming and social networks. So you can see there's no way with Ray that I could, even on my own, there's no way you could cover all of this in just 1 hour. People just hang up, it's tiring, it's exhausting, and it would freak you out. But the next step would be to get right in there, how to, and I'll be doing that in March. Hope that's okay, Sinead. Okay, so I'm just going through the questions in the Q&A. Is there ever a risk that the prompt to update your system devices is in itself a scam? Well, if you're ever suspicious about that, go onto the internet and say, email or message received from whoever asking me to update whatever, is this a scam? Because other people will be talking about it. And I've often done that just to check. Or I get a message from Bank of Ireland and I'm thinking, or EIB or wherever, and I will go and ring them myself and just say, is this a scam or is this legit, or, but not ring the number that you got in the text or not click the link you got in the text. So I would say it's possible. Nothing is impossible. I mean, you see how you can get a text message that looks like it's from your bank and it's not. They get right in there under it. So anything is possible. Be skeptical. Don't click links. Go and do your investigation yourself through the internet. Make some calls if you have to. Be your own detective. I hope, Kay, that answered it. Thank you. There's just some nice feedback there. Does your child need an email address to set up Google Family Link? Ooh, I'll need to check that. The brain now isn't telling me much at the moment. On the screen time, you do have to set up their account. I'd imagine on Google Link, you'll have to as well when they're under 16. You'd have to set up Gmail, but you would set them up as their guardian. If any parent out there knows, please let us know in the chat. But my guess would be that you would, yes, maybe, yes, you do. So my guess would be you would have to validate them in order to connect them, in order to monitor and supervise and to protect them, you would have to. But the best thing you can do is just go to Family Link, Google Family online, just check in Google Family, and what do I need to do to set up Google Family Link? And it'll just bring you step by step. I promise you. Half this is about not being afraid to just go research. And it's not hard research, I promise you. I'm the one talking here. Okay, so there's a tab on Tom Holland. Presume it's not the Spider-Man that I love. There's a tab on Instagram stories, I think it is. The ads and links are inappropriate. This is the same with Snapchat. If you go into Snapchat and you slide, I can't remember if they change it to the right, there's a discover feature, and you can get articles on everything. You cannot get rid of them. And this is why it's so important to be aware that when you allow your child certain apps, that they will be exposed to content on them. And that's why it's so important that you go on it first. Explore it yourself first, understand what it's about, and then talk to them about it and ask them why they want it, and explain to them why you're still a bit worried about it and they're so young. And and that's why it's so important as well to be in touch with their friends' parents to say, listen, I'm not comfortable doing this yet. I'm not. They want it. They're ready, but I'm not ready. So it's about talking to your kids' friends' parents. It's about doing research together with your child about it. Them telling you why they want it, you telling them why you're worried. And just that relationship again, listening to them, being reasonable, not overreacting, being practical, coming up with some compromise, but that they get it. Kids don't argue with logic. They don't. Okay. Let me see. That's that one answered. Sorry now about that. You're not Spider-Man. You meant Snapchat, yeah. Okay. Gutted you're not Spider-Man, now, to be honest. That would be great. Can't wait for his new movie coming out there in a week or two. Samuel, sorry no. Should we use suggested passwords that site apps recommend? What do you think? That just sounds dodgy already, doesn't it? Make up your own ones. No, there's password managers you can get as well. I mean, if you've got 30, 40 passwords, you can imagine in a place like Termicro, we've got techies walking around. Second there now. Oops, my apologies. We've got people walking around that are, they've got so many passwords, they have to have a password manager. And what that does is it allows you to have just one password, and the password manager manages all the other passwords for you. You just put them in once and that's it. And it's encrypted and protected. So that's what a password manager is. You can pay for it every month and subscribe. I think there's one, you can just, do you know what? The best thing would be to research. It's like buying a car or buying anything. What's the best one to buy? You research it, but it's called Password Manager. And you'll get top 3 best password managers out there, and you'll get the research on it. Would you use suggested passwords from others? No, I'd make up my own. No way, I wouldn't. They call it a suggested strong password. Yeah, if you think it is, but I'd just be a bit suspicious of that, wouldn't you? Okay. I will. Okay, so Alex asked if I'd provide the link for the next webinars to the school. What I did was the schools I contacted and how you're in touch with me now, that will happen again. I will send my invitation to the schools, and they will send it on to you. And please let others know about it. It's great that other people will join as well. Everyone benefits from this. I hope that's okay, Alex, to answer your question. You're interested, March and April. Thanks, Kate. Okay, what are we to expect when we advise 1 hour before bedtime, no device? Okay, so first of all, I wouldn't just pull this on them an hour before bed in the middle of the week. You've decided, right, I heard Avril last night, so tomorrow night, I'm going to just take the device off them and that's it, off to bed, no more device, because that, if they're on a device, it's pretty much, dopamine, the happy hormone. They're really like engaged and enjoying themselves, whatever they're doing. And if you just take a device out of their hand or cut off their Wi-Fi or no more time, it's the equivalent of a shock to the system and hurt and pain almost. So we definitely wouldn't recommend that now. What I would recommend is conversation, and that, you know, the time online one is coming out in 2 weeks. I will be sharing that with you on the next webinar. It's a great episode to have. I totally recommend it. Great one to have with kids. But talking to kids, listen, here's why. Here's what I've learned about going to bed an hour before. I've heard that an hour before going to bed, you shouldn't be on any device, because when you're getting sleepy, melatonin is released from your brain, and it gets you yawning, it gets your body tired, and it's winding you down for bed. Being on a device keeps you awake. It's like drinking coffee. And the blue screen, even if you're wearing these things, these babies, even if you're wearing them, it's going to keep you awake. It's going to keep you wide awake, and you're going to be, you're not going to just fall asleep at the hour you're supposed to fall asleep. So the purpose of just being an hour off devices before bed is to help your body and your mind wind down. And we have a great episode coming up on this. I can't wait to share it once we launch it. So I would say to you, conversation with your child about it, talking logic to them about melatonin and how being on a device stops that melatonin being secreted. The blue screen, it slows down the secretion of melatonin. It's going to stop you from feeling tired. And if you don't get enough sleep in the night, tomorrow you're going to be grumpy, cranky, angry, eating sugar to get energy, hard to concentrate in school. If you're anxious or stressed, your anxiety and stress will be even worse because you're tired. So all of these things add up. Kids listen to logic. So have the conversation with them. Sorry now if I repeat myself there a few times, but I hope that answers your question. If you do it that way, you won't get a meltdown. Bring them on board with it. You have to be almost like a counselor. You're their coach, a therapist. What is a good age to give their child their first phone? There is no age, there is no magic number. I would say that you know your own child. Questions I would ask: are they responsible in general with items that they own? Are they responsible with whatever device they have already? Bearing in mind that 93% of 8 to 12-year-olds have their own devices. How responsible are they with them? What's their behavior been like on them? They will have made mistakes, right? Let's take that as a given. They'll say terrible things and not realize the impact of what they're saying, and you've helped them figure that out and apologize or whatever. But how have they been in general? Have they learned from that? Have they moved on? Are they still talking to you about stuff? Is there an open relationship? Is there trust there? Do you trust them? Do they trust you? Do you feel they always tell you things, or do you tend to hear it from other people? You just need to figure that out with them. And that's the question I'd ask about how responsible they are with a device in general anyway, with money, with anything. Do they lose everything the minute they get it? Or are they very responsible and they mind things? Are they mindful? And then the relationship and the trusting and the respecting others and respecting self. You know your own child. You know when it's good. And sometimes you just might not be ready, and that's okay too. I know Dr. David Coleman said before, are we afraid as parents, as a nation, to say no to our kids? There's an element of that there too. If you feel your kids aren't ready, you are the parent at the end of the day. But I think how you deliver that message to them is really important so that they're on board. And having the same conversation with their friends' parents is also good, because if none of them are getting it and you've all agreed, then, and some kids will have phones from a early age. Maybe their parents are separated, or they have learning difficulties, assisted technology, whatever the reason they need a phone. That has to be respected and explained to kids too. What the reason they have it is, the reason you don't is, and you will, and I will trust you with it. And it's a wonderful place, but once you have it, it's your public life, it's your everything, I hope that answers, Katrina, your question. Louise sent a message in the chat box by mistake. That's grand. Thanks everyone for your lovely messages. I haven't gotten to read them all, but I will go back over them. And Marissa thought the same about Tom Holland. Can you imagine if he appeared on the video? So I will go back. If there's any questions with your emails, I will reply to you and I will answer those questions. And please do bear in mind, yes, the 7th of March for the gaming and social networks. What is it? How is it? What is it? How does it work? Step-by-step guides on 3 games, popular games, and 3 popular social networks. And on the April one, the 11th of April, it will be on screen time. Is there a different website specifically designed to help with security for all the different apps? Yes, there is. It's called Trend Micro Family. I didn't actually mention that on my slides at all, did I? Be shot. So Trend Micro Family. Do you know what? I'll put that in my slides for the next time. But under Trend Micro Family, that's the beauty of, I guess, Trend Micro Family. We're not a social network. We're not a gaming organization. You know, we're able to provide, we're curators of content. So everything I give to you today on social networks, on gaming, on time management, on privacy, on security, on kindness and cyberbullying, we work with organizations that are the experts. So we work with the Digital Wellness Lab in Boston Children's University Hospital. We work with Cyberbullying Research Center that do all the research-based evidence. We work with National Association for Media Literacy Education. So we're not experts, we're just security experts, but they are the experts. So everything we have, we curate to provide to you over the years. And when it comes to security for all apps and all social media, we have a thing called Trend Micro Family that does just that. So if you just Google Trend Micro Family, you'll get it. To have a look more, let me know what you think, Paul, if you're coming back next in March, or contact me on the contact us and say, hey, I had a look at this. I was at the Irish webinar the other night, had a look at it. Just give us your opinion. Would love to hear from you. But it does just that. It helps you manage them all. And because we feel the need is there and it's missing, and parents don't have time to be going into the mall. I'm showing you how to go into the mall, but we are extending it bit by bit to cover more and more apps and more features, and it's becoming something quite special. I'll put it on the next webinar in my slides on the 7th of March. Get my dates wrong. I hope that's okay, Paul. What are the glasses called? You can get them in Tiger for a few euros. These are the fancy bits of plastic with the Trend Micro logo. They may cost a couple of euros more now, but they're called the blue tinted glasses for blue tint glasses, protective glasses for the blue screen. There's a word for it, blue. To check it, I'll have to Google it. My apologies now. I take these off. The one thing you can't do when you're on a call with work is do other things when you're on a call, because they get to see what you're doing in the screen. Good thing. Unable to download Family Link to my daughter's Hawaii phone. Can I download a different app to help with screen time? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you actually go into the store, the App Store, and put, not even the App Store, if you want to do a bit of research first, best app to help manage my child's activity on her device. There are a ton of apps, but the reason I focus on the device apps is because the device itself has it for you. But there are a ton. Put in screen time. If you go into the App Store, put in screen time management app and have a look, but there's tons of them. So that's why I would say to you, you're better off doing a research first, like on a browser, what are the top 5 best screen managing apps for kids, for parents. Just look at that first, and then you can go in and look at it, download it, play around with it, see if it works. Hope that's okay, Louise. What are the glasses called? I'm desperate. Blue glasses, the blue reflective, blue light. Sorry, it's gone. I'm going to have to Google it. I'm sorry now. Blue light glasses. Protective. All the words they are that I can't put into one sentence to make sense. They're called blue light glasses. Blue light screen protectors. That's what it's called. Blue light screen protectors. Sorry about that. My brain's a bit fried, I think, after today. How to filter adult content websites from laptop and phone, if you could help us. So again, if it's my MS Office, for example, Microsoft, into settings, you just type into the search on your desktop, safety settings, and it will guide you through. And if you're struggling to find something specific, like blocking websites and adult content in particular, just go and research it. Know that it's there. And it is there. You just have to figure out to find it. But I'm telling you now, once you see the next webinar, every app, and they actually start looking the same. I actually have to remind myself which one I'm on. They look different, but they do the same thing. So once you do one, you'll be familiar with them. I hope that answers your question. How to filter adult content. Yeah, that's that. No, sorry about that. No, it doesn't work. The parental controls you have, but try other ones. The fact that you're doing this and you're looking at it is fantastic. Keep at it. Don't give up just because one doesn't work. And look at what's out there. There's loads of them. You just have to pick the one that suits you best and does what it says on the tin. But that's why I purposely took screen time, Apple, Android, and Microsoft as the three. Right, I've gotten down the bottom of all the Q&As. Garv Mila Mahagut. Thank you, everyone. I'm just looking for ones with a question mark, so I'm scanning. Thank you. There's a lot of thank yous. Thank you so much, guys, and take care, anyone who's hanging up. I don't see any more questions. I think people might have just added more questions to the Q&A when they saw that I was asking those ones. I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Unless there's more. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. We've been 7:30, 8:30. Gosh, 2 hours, an hour and a half. So you've been on this call quite a long time. Thank you for your time. I look forward to you joining the next time. Anyone who sent me their email, you will receive the invite for the next one. And anyone who, especially with audio hearing impairments, if you sent me your email, I will get back to you with whatever question you want me to answer. Thanks, everyone. Take care, everyone. And tomorrow, Safer Internet Day, do something. Go onto our website and do a challenge, internetsafety.tremicro.com. It's that simple. I'll share it there on the chat for you. Here we go to everyone. Take that website and have a look around. Do something new on Safer Internet Day to protect you and protect your family and just to be informed. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.